Shapeshifters of Rathe. This is a special edition talking about going to large events. So we've got the lovely Valera and Eser with us. So they've both participated in multiple large events. I've also been to callings and so forth in my own country. We're venturing out very shortly. So we're just going to hopefully help anyone that's going to any big events and Worlds, which is like the apex event for us all. Unfortunately, myself and Valera aren't able to attend, but Eser will be there with bells on, taking lots of photos so that we can all feel like we're there too. So our first topic we're going to talk about is our experience with large events. Who would like to start?
I can start. So my first calling was, and you'll remember this one, it was Krakow. It was my first Flesh and Blood, my first big Flesh and Blood event, and my first big Flesh and Blood event in cosplay. So it was a 2-in-1 for me. And I was super nervous. I had no idea if there would be any changing stations, if I would even be allowed to cosplay at the event. There was zero knowledge. So I went and did the logical thing. And I do believe I emailed LSS directly and asked them if I could cosplay at the call in Krakow. So this was 2 years ago. Easter, or a year ago Easter, something like that. So cosplay wasn't as big, at least not in Europe. And they said, yeah, sure, come along and we'll figure out somewhere where you can change. I was literally changing behind panels where the streamer, the commenters were seated. So I was just there like, no, don't mind me, just putting on my wig, putting on my scarf, getting everything ready. Yeah, this is the piano. I have to take my pants off now. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. But it was my first big event, and it was pretty cool. Packing everything, I went by car, so that was also an interesting moment because 4 of us were going, so I couldn't just take the entirety of the bunker for myself. So yeah, that was my first big event. Do you remember your first big event, Essa? It was
in cosplay or general?
in cosplay.
In cosplay, it was Pro, right? Like only one day because I was judging the other 2 days. So I know big events, right? I've done a lot of big events for Magic and also Flesh and Blood, but that was the first one I went in cosplay. I was super nervous because I spent a lot of time doing the costume, redoing a lot of stuff, and I actually was only cosplaying on Saturday because the other 2 days I was judging. So it was very nice to see everybody, and I did have an advantage in the. I think the other cosplayers also at some point were allowed to change in the staff room, but since I was working the other days, I could just put all my stuff there and change there, and nobody cared. So a bit of an advantage, I guess. I know in Antwerp, the cosplayers, I don't think they had an extra space to change, right? Yeah. That was. I hope at Worlds we're gonna get at least an area where we can put our stuff and change, because otherwise, I know not only me but other people will have a problem arriving there. Yeah. But
Yeah, there should be like a special room just for cosplayers.
Yeah. I mean,
without other people walking around.
Not every venue has the capability of giving that, but you can, with banners or something, at least make a corner where players and other people can't just go in or look in and stuff. Yeah.
For a lot of the big events that I've done, I've kind of arrived in cosplay. But I've been walking distance from the event that where it is, so that's made a huge difference. But when we were calling Auckland, we were actually in a theatre, so we actually got a dressing room, which has been super spoiled. because we have full length mirrors, everything. It was lovely. But that's not always available at every event. So, I mean, even if we had like a designated bathrooms, that's just for us to get changed on the day. That would be nice because then you don't have to worry about people coming in and out. I know bathrooms can be disgusting, but it would be just nice. And I think that's something maybe because they are really supporting us in so many different ways with all our, promos and so forth. If they were able to give us, as I mean, I'm spoiled, but for the wider community to have that opportunity. I mean, I know for the American events, the Worlds in America, they didn't even have indoor toilets for the general public. So I don't imagine there was really anywhere for people to get changed. I'm unsure what reports from that one, but without indoor toilets, I can't imagine what it was like to get changed for cosplay either.
Okay, you mentioned going to the event in cosplay.
Yeah.
I do that too because I try to book hotels close by.
Yeah.
And I remember for Antwerp, I was all green with like looking, I just came out of a swamp. And in the hall next to ours, all the Turkish people were voting for the Turkish president. So there was like around the whole block a line of Turkish people standing, and I just walking green, 2 teeth missing, with like a giant log of fish and stuff. And I got some very interesting stares from people. Some took like their children a bit away, and some be like, "Looks good, looks good." So I'm very excited for if of course if the weather it's raining, then that's a problem going to cosplay. But if
Oh, it's not. It is definitely not. So Krakow, if you remember, one of the days it was raining, and Ira is barefoot and in flip flops.
Oh.
And that was the day when I decided I'm not gonna change there. I'm inconveniencing these people. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm gonna get changed at the Airbnb where we were staying. It's within walking distance. We'll be there in 10 minutes or less. I'm just gonna go. And as I started getting ready and actually putting everything on and wrapping my legs takes a lot of time. It started, I think I heard, the guys I was with, they heard thunder.
Oh,
and everybody just looked at me and it was like, nope, still going through with this. Don't care. I will give you my my props. The edge was made of paper back then. I will give you that. You will have our only umbrella and I will just go. I do not care.
I think I would be afraid that the metal parts will actually go bad at some point if I do that. So, but I'm more interested in the people because in Worlds it's going to be like in the central area where like all the tourism stuff is. So even just the 5 minutes, there's gonna be a lot of people. So I will report back how that's going.
Please do.
So, shall we lead into the next prepping for large events? So this is it's quite a mental thing going to large events because a lot of people would have like only been to maybe a not a battle hardened or they are a little bit smaller depending on which area in the world you are at. And so going to a calling or a Worlds or a PT is a lot more daunting. One, for the amount of people, as we all know, there's a lot more people at these events. And also the whole, will my cosplay be accepted? Will people know what I'm doing? Will it be good enough? These are all questions we all ask ourselves when we go into a large event. And it feels, you get all your costume done. That feels like such a big task as well. But then mentally being able to prepare to go to a large event can be quite hard. And this is a question that was asked when Eser put feelers out to ask, how do you, mentally prepare for this kind of thing?
I think for me, it's because I've been to so many events, I know what to expect, right? But knowing I will become in cosplay, it's still like will people recognize my cosplay, right? That's like the biggest question. Like, I want people to know what I'm cosplaying, and how will they react? For example, if I go to events in Benji, I know that people won't recognize it sometimes, and they are very confused, generally speaking. And like, I am preparing to just do this more for myself because I like it. And I think, as you said, like a lot of mental, preparing goes into it. So going to an event especially where there's a cosplay competition, like I'm very competitive in cosplay. I don't want to admit it, but I take a lot of pride in crafting and then showing it off, right? I don't like being the center of the stage too much, but I do like showing off what I did, right? So I have expectations going into events, but seeing all the amazing cosplays and all the amazing cosplays around, I always try to be like, yeah, don't be sad if you don't win. Like, the other cosplays are amazing. That doesn't mean your cosplay is bad. And just the weeks before the event, just repeat that, because I think it can be very disappointing if you're very confident and then you don't win it, if that's your goal, right? So I think you need to go in there with a certain set of expectations of, I want to have fun, I want to enjoy it for myself, and maybe make the event better for other people too.
So I remember that my thoughts and my family's thoughts when I was going to my first event to Krakow were, what if you're going to be the only cosplayer there? And that was a very weird question to me, because what if I'm the only cosplayer there? There's going to be a lot of eyes on you. There's going to be a lot of people who do want to take their picture with you, regardless of who you cosplay or what you cosplay. People recognize cosplay in general. They don't necessarily need to know the character. If it looks cool, they will want to have a picture, a video. They'll want to talk to you. They'll want to come up to you and tell you, this looks great, this looks awesome. Or they'll want to come up to you and tell you, I know you're supposed to be that character, but you don't really look like them. But nice trying, though. I had a lot of people telling me that, the girl from Scar for a Scar doesn't have black hair, she has brown hair. And me just being like, okay, that is a very valid point. If I were cosplaying the Scar for a Scar girl, it is the same character, but it's a different art representation. I'm sorry. So just what Issa said. So be prepared for a lot of things to happen. Be prepared for people to recognize you or to not recognize you, but be prepared that you're gonna get more attention than you would usually get. And if you're a bit shy, if you're introverted, if you have a very low social battery, I have a very low social battery, maybe take it one event at a time. Maybe cosplay for one day or for half of one day. And then at the next event, you can maybe do a full day, or you can do a full weekend, or whatever suits you, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, also adding to that, if during a day you're like, I want to cosplay this whole day, and like you're uncomfortable, or you just don't feel well, or you feel like, I just need to get out of this to be like part of the mass of players and not standing out that much anymore. Like, there's no shame in doing that. I did that once for a Magic event where my first cosplay, and at middle of the day I was like, nah, I don't feel comfortable anymore. So, there's no shame in just getting out of your cosplay and being more comfortable, because the key thing that you would want at an event is to have fun, right? And if you're uncomfortable, you're not having fun. So you don't, even if you're having an awesome cosplay and people want to take pictures with you, like you're not there to make them happy, even though you want to do that, right? But it's not your work. So
it's not your responsibility. Also, if you're enjoying your cosplay, if you're having a blast, but your head hurts because of your wig, or your prop is becoming too heavy, or just one specific thing bothers you, take it off, put it aside, give yourself a little break. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If anybody comes up to you like, are you okay, whatever, people tend to come up to cosplayers if they are half undressed, or if they're taking off their wig or doing something in public, like asking if you need any help, are you okay, or whatever. Don't get scared from that. And don't be scared to just take a little break from whatever single thing is bothering you, be it your entire cosplay or be it just a part of your cosplay. The most important part is that you have fun.
Yeah.
If there's other cosplayers at the event, like it's a very tight community. If you need help or something, there will be somebody who's willing to help you, right? Before in Antwerp, before going on stage, I had somebody come with me in the bathroom to paint me all green again because I couldn't do it alone, right? So you just need to ask. Another thing I think which is very important going to large events to have planned before is your food and drink. Like you have to consider you're in cosplay and you're most likely also playing events, which means even as a player, players forget to eat, and at the end of the day you feel awful. If you're in cosplay, in the short breaks you have, people want to take pictures, you need to change something or fix something in cosplay, so you have even less time to do that. So pre-planning, like I have this to drink and this to eat, and I need to eat it, or like have a set time to remind yourself to eat, because it's very easy to forget it, and then you will just feel like garbage. And if it's bad, like you won't be able to cosplay the next day because of it. So you have to prepare to to make yourself like have all your needs met.
Yeah, I like protein bars and muesli bars. They can get me through a day quite easily.
Yeah.
And events really do have, at least the ones that I've been to, they have like food stands, they have food vendors. So make sure you have some money on you for whatever purpose. But also on the topic of having everything you need with you, a first aid kit, and not just for cosplay, is something that you will need. So ibuprofen, bandages, like basically anything that you can think of that might help you in that moment. If your head hurts because of your wig and you don't want to take it off and it's just a light headache, but it's annoying you, ibuprofen. If you get a paper cut from a card and you don't want to get it all over your cosplay and you don't want to wrap a tissue around your finger, just put a little Band-Aid. And also cosplay first aid kits.
Yeah,
I think we're going to talk about
that. Yeah, so we will definitely talk about that a little bit later. But I was thinking maybe we could talk about traveling to an event, or do we? We can actually we can talk about the cosplay survival kits. What's really important to us to have in our kits. So I have this if I'm going to an event that I don't have to go on a plane.
There's a lot of stuff to have there.
But if I'm going like we're somewhere it's a bit further away, I will have a smaller kit. But generally, my top 5 things that I like to have in my kit are super glue, and I've decided that gel super glue is way better. Like because normal super glue is too duct tape. And a metallic pen in the color of my armor for touch-ups.
That's a smart one.
Yeah, and needle and thread. Those are my top things I always make sure I have, and safety pins. So yeah.
I in addition to that, I also have I don't know the English name.
That's right.
Like if you make your glove dirty, to undirty it basically. Right.
Yeah.
But if you get your paper cut on there and accidentally, you can get it off, right?
Yeah, you can just rub it
like
something.
Like a wet wipe.
Yeah, but like for
fabric.
For fabric, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what I have in my first aid kits, which I have disassembled, but in addition to that, I like little self-adhesive Velcro straps.
Oh, yes.
They really do go a long way. And I got some for my birthday. And thank you to everybody who knows I need cosplay materials. Also bobby pins and like just little rubber bands for any sort of wig trouble. Eye drops, because just contact lenses and just eye strain in general, and basic makeup touch-ups. So concealer in my shade, and basic liner, basic like lip gloss or lip balm or whatever of those things. And I actually like to carry around any bit of cosplay that I think I might lose. So with Ira, when I started cosplaying her, I usually have the like red headband on me. So what I used to carry around for a very long time was just pieces of red fabric that I could reuse in case I lose it. And I don't know what else but just like, I don't know, or golden straps in case I lose it, and just parts of cosplay that I feel might fall off, or
might break. Right, for worlds, I'm making chainmail, and I'll take several rings to just if I lose a ring and I can fix it. I know for Riptide I had like the bolt, so if I lose one I can just redo it. Like the basic stuff, as you said, that you're aware that are not that you might lose or that might break, right?
So also like fabric dye that I'm using, or just dye for my props or something. So in Antwerp I actually had gold colors. I had this gold color for edge in case something goes amiss. I don't know what, but better safe than sorry. And the little like pen shaped glue sticks. So not the entire bottle of like super glue, but just like the pen shaped ones. Those are amazing because you just dab on a little bit and you'll hold.
At least until the event is over.
At least until yes, exactly. So just the little ones. The little ones go a long way.
That's what I carry.
You can actually fix it at home.
Yeah.
And as you said, like basic pain medicine, because
I've never actually thought of that, and so I will definitely be adding like Nurofen to my ibuprofen to my list.
And even if you don't need it, there might be another person who you could give it to, because every event somebody has headaches.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I also like to carry like the little cough tablets. I don't know what you call it.
Like a lozenge.
Because I noticed that my voice starts cracking after the first day of the event. Because you're just talking constantly, especially if you're into character, and especially if you want to bring other people closer to what you're doing or cosplaying. And even if you're just playing, you will be talking with a minimum of 10 different people throughout the day. You won't feel sore, probably not after the first day or the second day. The third day, you won't have a voice anymore. So just basically whatever you would bring to a concert, bring to a con.
That seems really common sense. So, and plasters and things like that, as you said, because shoes rub as well, things like that. Parts of costumes can rub, and those would help as well. So traveling with cosplay. So this was something that was brought up when questions were asked on different mediums. So traveling with cosplays. So I'm just going to talk about how this piece here will come down to.
It disassembles. Wow.
Disassembles. Now this is something that I didn't realize early on, and I had my bow. If everyone's seen Lexi Livewire. And I had to pay extra to get it back from, this is domestically, from Wellington, because I managed to get someone to take it down for me because I was doing a delivery, but then I had to try and get it back. So it cost me an extra $50 to get on the plane. It had to be, I had to go through the X-ray machine, so I was standing there with my baby going through the X-ray machine, and I had to report it as sports goods. So thinking about how you're going to travel, And I mean, this has got thermoplastic in the inside, so if I go to somewhere and it's a bit bent, I can use a hairdryer to just get it back into shape. But yeah, that's how I learnt my lesson. How are you guys with your experiences of traveling? Because planes are hard. If you
Yeah.
can drive, then
I
there's less problems. But yeah,
I know for worlds. I asked them in my Discord community, can somebody please like get some stuff from me to the event? But it's
yeah,
so far away that nobody's going by car. So I measured, like, I got a big suitcase, which I'm also paying extra, like carry on and
yeah,
not carry on, like the checked in bags, which I normally don't have to events, but there's so much stuff, you need an extra. And I measured my suitcase, and even if my stuff is a bit smaller in the end, I make it so it fits in my suitcase. Like
yeah.
like parts of it you can also disassemble, or just it has the exact measurements. What I'm also going to do is to, like, my large suitcase is only for my cosplay stuff, and I have a lot of very different forms. So I try to fit them into each other to save space, which I will need. And then the spaces in which nothing is, like they're empty, I'll still put some cushioning so the stuff doesn't break and like still lies correctly. Because as you said, if stuff is bent, you don't want it to bend. You want it to have the right
Yeah,
shape.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. And fingers crossed that all my stuff fits in there because there's a lot of stuff. So I don't know yet.
Cross fingers. You got a little bit of time to do some test packing, and that's another thing that's really important, right? Test packing,
Yeah.
seeing if everything's going to fit. Yeah,
I mean, if stuff goes wrong, I just need another suitcase and book another suitcase. Or like my shield is my carry-on. Thank you. Don't mind me.
I think my biggest blessing slash problem is the fact that when I go to big events, my partner will also probably want to cosplay.
yeah.
And my partner does not want to cosplay anything that doesn't have a 10-piece armor set.
Oh,
So in Lille, I was actually pretty happy to have been invited by LSS specifically with this cosplay because it is very, very storage resourceful friendly.
Yeah.
Because it's basically
Apricot
just fabrics and a sword and that's it. So it's not that big of a deal. My partner, on the other hand, had the 10-piece armor, which went exclusively into a cosplay exclusive suitcase.
Yeah.
But yeah, test packing and just trying to figure out where and how you can save space. So what we did for Antwerp is we didn't bring my finished cosplay there. We brought half of my finished cosplay, at least prop-wise. And then we did it there at the event. And when we were packing at the hotel the night before we had to go, my partner asked me, okay, so the edge is now in perfect condition. It is in one piece. We did it. It's amazing. It has a metal rod going from here to the end of the blade to the very edge. It's perfect. What do you want to do now? We have to bring it back somehow. At the time, we weren't financially stable enough to give an extra 20 euros, let alone anything more, to get it as an extra carry-on. So what are we going to do? Am I going to mask it as an umbrella, a walking stick? I'm not. That was an option when I was leaving from Croatia to there. Now it's not an option.
Imagine security. Yeah, this is an umbrella. Oh, is it? Show me.
What my brother actually told me is, well, you can just buy a very cheap umbrella or get a broken umbrella and just wrap the actual umbrella part around your sword. So nobody questions you because you can have an umbrella as a carry-on with
Did it work?
wow.
Well, no, because I wasn't able to find a broken umbrella and I didn't want to break any umbrellas. And also my edge is a bit too big to be considered an umbrella. But what we did end up doing in the end, which I regretted just a little bit, is we forcefully disassembled it yet again.
Mm.
It was assembled with hot glue, with a glue gun, and it was very sad. But we had a heat gun, so we melted it off and we took it apart. And then when we got back to Croatia, my partner told me, I really don't care how many times I have to do this, but we are bringing this sword wherever we go, and I do not care. So yeah, there was an option of getting a bigger suitcase just so it can fit like diagonally.
Yeah.
Mm.
However, getting a suitcase that is literally this bigger, this is, I don't know how many inches, but it's not that much, would have cost us more than paying for an extra carry-on for the sword.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's a pretty big suitcase that we already have.
Yeah.
So yeah, just test planning, and if you can disassemble it and reassemble it when you get to the con, then just be prepared to cash out extra.
I mean, on the other hand, if you know you're going to an event where you have restrictions going there because of planes and stuff, maybe you're not carrying your 10-piece armor there, but something simpler,
Yeah.
something you can
Yeah.
actually carry. Like,
Um,
I mean, of course you want to show off your really nice stuff that you just did, but if you can't bring it there, you can't, like, you don't need to break yourself to bring it there, right? You can wear it at an event, another event.
Yeah.
That's closer that you can go by car or like trains and stuff. Like airplanes are the biggest problems for cosplay because like at trains I can
carry
go with
anything.
big suitcases, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But airplanes are very strict.
Yeah. For Melbourne, I'm hoping I can get this on the plane. I have not gone for something with a full prop. I've gone for this.
That looks so good.
That's everyone's first look at what I'm doing. I'm sure people who know, but this fits inside my case. I can't take my bows. I can't take Death Dealer. I can't take. They just don't fit in the case that I can physically take. Those two, Voltaire will be staying in New Zealand. Death Dealer will stay in New Zealand, and I will be going a completely different route, and I will be taking Taylor and my tunic so people can try. But that's the choices I had to make to be able to do an international trip.
Yeah,
I mean you can still wear every day a different cosplay. So that's that's pretty good, honestly. I know I'm planning like I have most of the materials here for a cosplay that's like even less than Benji. Just to be like, I have like this suitcase space left, let's put it there.
Yeah.
So once we get to the event, we get to the part that's very scary for people is the judging and being on stage. So both of you have been in competitions. Valera, you've been a judge, so you know both sides of the plane. How do we feel comfortable going into this thing? Is there, I don't think there's a secret per se, because everybody has their different preparations, but being on stage is a bit different to being in amongst everyone in the crowd, because you are even more the center of attention. So that can be quite daunting for a lot of people. How do you guys deal with that particular part?
I know at Protolil, I was very happy because I was very scared. I don't like being that focused, right? So I was very happy that I had my mask of the Pawns and Links, and we also had to wear face masks. So I always said, I'm glad nobody can see how scared I am. So that was good. And I think if you've done it one time, it does get a bit easier because you know what to expect. It doesn't mean that it's still easy. Like in Antwerp, I was still like, I'm so nervous. I know, Valera, you were standing behind me and you like helping me to get ready and stuff. I think there is no secret because it's very individual how to get there. What's helping me a lot, like I have a lot of head cinema. When I work on a cosplay, I'm already thinking of how do I pose, what's going to be like, what am I doing on stage, and I just practice that a lot. Like I'm already practicing for the proto, just so I have the routine that even like if you're scared, you can still perform it. So like knowing what you will do is a big plus, and already like having done it is a big plus. I know there's a lot of like newer cosplayers who didn't plan that ahead, like the poses and stuff, and that mostly means that the performance is not as good because you're not make like your cosplay looks great, but you're not making the character shine, right? So for heroes, it's very easy. You have the poses of like often even more cards than one. If you're cosplaying like an action card or something, you can just imagine like who do I think this character is? How do they pose? How do they present themselves? And then do still a few different poses that like show off your cosplay. Like you can even turn around, show your back, be like if you're doing a brute, be like haha from the back, and just do a few different things and practice it. Think about it beforehand.
And if you didn't think about it before the event, even if you got there and if it's time to get on the stage and if the show is starting, there are cosplayers all around you. And if you ask any single one of them, okay, so I'm cosplaying this and this, I don't know what to do. They will talk you through it. They will help you get hyped. They will help you get into character, and they will help you figure out what to do exactly. So, okay, you're cosplaying a brute. So do this, show your muscles, flex, maybe do a pose, maybe try threatening someone from the audience, maybe find a friend somewhere and engage with them. What helped me a lot in Antwerp is my friends who were in the audience. And basically before the show started, I had no idea what I was going to do. And no, I literally had no idea. So I knew that I was going to probably do a split and one moment. And while I'm crafting, especially if the character is flexible, I always try to stretch as much as possible because I like showing off that flexibility. I think it's cool for people to see.
Yeah.
I just found my two friends from Croatia, and I literally, so cosplay performances and showcases and the red carpet and everything always have like the border between the audience and the cosplayer and the cosplayers and the stage. Like, so what I did was I got out, which I think maybe some of you noticed. I got out to try and find people that I know and to be like, okay, I'm going to do this thing and I need a reaction from you guys. And I need you to get as many people from the audience to react with you as well, because I need you hyped, which will hype me, which will help in the long run. I got back and I think I was last.
Yes, you were last.
I was last.
You were behind me and the last one. And yours was the best performance.
So
I mean, I saw, but like everybody was like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing! Oh no, another split! That's so great!"
So basically, being last is worse than being first, because when you're first and when you're first in line, you have so many people behind you. You have everybody cheering you on. You have everybody in the audience cheering you on and behind the stage cheering you on. When you're last, it's a bit harder, but you can look forward to two things. You can look forward to seeing what everybody else does and listening to the reaction of the audience to what they do. And you can look forward to rejoining them again on the other side of the stage and be like, okay, so how did I do? How did I do? Because you guys were awesome. I don't know how I did. So basically that, even if you don't think about what you're going to do on stage and you're already on stage and it's already too late, it's not. It's really not.
Just do something.
Just literally
improvise.
So bonus points if you have friends in the audience, bonus points if you know anything about the cosplay that you're wearing, and huge bonus points, which I didn't mention before. Everybody's making a certain cosplay for a certain reason. So it's either I really like how this looks and I like the visual aspect of this. It's either I really like this character and I want to like dress as this character. I want to be that. It can be something more like, okay, so I'm usually a softie and I want to be edgy with this one. So let's try that. It can be a million different reasons. Channel that reason when you're going out on stage. So if you're making the cosplay purely because you wanted to craft something amazing, show off that that's amazing. And the people will feel your energy.
Yeah. Show, as I said, show off your back, show off your front. Like, do poses that are wide, so you're not hiding any details, right? I know on stage for Riptide was very hard for me because I'm a very smiley person. I'm a very happy person. And not saying that Riptide isn't happy, but he doesn't look happy, right? He's like grumpy. I can't do it. I practice it so often, I just couldn't do it. So
no, you were great. You were great. And especially the kicking the bucket part, it was just, I know that some people from the audience actually asked me, wait, was that practice?
I did practice it.
Because it looked so natural. It was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. Who are you people? Get away from me. This is fish.
Like, people, stop polluting my rivers. I'm like, that's what I did. Like, that performance was based off what I think that character would do, and it was a young Riptide, maybe before the pollution was very bad, because, you know, he still looks kind of normal, a bit green, but kind of normal. So he's just doing what he's doing. He's a fishing guy, and then he's starting to fish out like trash, and he's very annoyed because he wants fish, obviously. So that's I thought it was very fun to engage with like the audience, because obviously they are polluting my river.
So I did miss one question that we can do before we could go into the other fun topics that we normally cover in these podcasts. So it was, is it okay to work with others on your cosplay, or should it always be a solo project? Now, we've already featured a lot of people that are group cosplays, couples that do it together. LSS is really supportive of that, as long as you let people know if you have help, you know. And it's 75%. So like, if you do have like a little bit of help, that's not going to probably go over that 25%, or, you know, that amount anyway. So how do we feel about having help? I think that was,
yeah. That's actually a question that I just recently asked, like on Twitter, like, how do you feel about it? Because I know personally, I am competitive. I am proud of what I do with my cosplays, right? And I mean, I live alone. I don't have friends here, so I have to do stuff myself. But my sister's also into cosplay, and she doesn't live too far away. And she was like, "Oh yeah, you're doing cosplay. Can I help?" And my first reaction was like, "No, I want to do it alone." But like driving back home from lunch, I was like, "Am I stupid? Because help, time is a problem for every cosplayer." I don't like it's. I'm working on this since 3 or 4 weeks nonstop, and I will the next weeks. Like, I need a break after the event. So if I have a bit of extra help to be able to finish it, like, take it. And also it can, like what I thought, because I'm not really doing much with my sister, it can be a very nice bonding moment to do something you both enjoy, right? So there's more parts than just like getting stuff ready. You can also, like, what I imagine, like, my sister will be proud of me and like the cosplay that she helped with, which otherwise she would look different at. But she's like, yeah, I helped with this, and now he won. Now he did a good job. Look at how nice it looks. Like, it can make people proud and very happy for you and for themselves that they are part of this, even if they are not the main thing. I think for me personally, it's important that you're doing the key parts. So like, I wouldn't let my sister make the details or the foam, but like if she paints on them, like that's fine by me, right?
Yeah.
Basically, that's my personal opinion.
Basically same. So almost all of the golden details here on the edge were not painted by me. They were cut by me, they were drawn by me, they were designed by me, and then they were left to get primed, and they were left to get painted, and in the end to get glued onto the edge. And I just didn't have time for everything because I work a 9-to-5 job, and I need an hour to get to work and an hour to get back, which leaves me with not a lot of time to sleep, let alone do a cosplay. And what I actually said on your thread, Esa, on Twitter, so I got into cosplay as a family thing. So my first cosplay, which was many, many years ago, I actually managed to make because of my parents, because they were there to help me with the materials I needed and with everything that I had. And ever since then, whenever I would start a cosplay project, while my dad was still alive, he would just come up to me and say, "What are you doing? Why wasn't I informed of this? What am I doing? How can I help? What can I help? Where's the picture? Where's your reference? You're doing that with that? No. You can do it better with this. Let me show you." So it isn't just like a crafting project for me. It's a very, very like emotional bonding experience like you have with your sister, because I feel like cosplay helped me bond a lot with my partner and with my parents, because we worked on his first cosplay together. It was a nightmare, but we pulled through and we made it. We worked on both of our first Flesh and Blood cosplays together, and those were nightmares, and we pulled through it. And I think that, I want to talk about the percentages in the judging, because people are always so stressed.
The number 75%, like it's very hard to determine how much actually is 75%. So everybody's like, did I do enough?
But people are so stressed because like, well, I didn't buy these shoes, but I made shoe covers for them and I modified them. So does that count towards the percentage? Or I'm not having a wig, I'm using my own hair, but I'm going to style it, I'm going to dye it, I'm going to do everything. So does that count? And I don't know. I think the weirdest thing that I heard, it wasn't on Discord or anything, it was from, I don't even remember where, is somebody was looking for rope, I think, or something like that. And the question was, if I don't braid this rope, if I buy store-bought rope, does that count? And I think this is really starting to go less towards the 75% rule and more towards the I have contact lenses which I bought, which people are very scared of.
I mean, just saying, if your hair fits the cosplay, use your real hair. There's nothing better. Like wigs suck.
Yeah.
Wigs are horrible.
This is my hair.
Yeah, and like I know my first Banshee wig is just way too big and it doesn't fit properly. It's a nightmare. If my hair would fit, I would definitely use my hair. Like for Riptide, I used my own hair and it looked better than any wig.
Amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, if you use your own hair, that's like you don't even need to calculate that because it's your own hair, right?
Your own hair. You grew it yourself.
But I understand. Like I made the net to hold the fish. Like I made the net. I could have bought one. Was like I'm not sure if I have enough of the percentage, so I would just spend so many hours making a net. I could have bought one, but you know I like to make myself miserable because I'm also making chainmails out of actual metal wings that I also make. So, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I feel you because my parents told me, my mom told me when I was making Ira, okay, so you can just make socks that don't have toes and don't have a heel, and then you can just sew on the bandages on there and you can just pull that. No, it's not the same. It is not the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the percentage is there just to keep people from buying store-bought cosplays.
Yeah.
And just doing that, or from cosplaying characters that are fairly simple to cosplay without giving in additional effort into that.
Yeah.
So if you find the specific material needed to make, if you find the exact kimono that any ninja has, the exact one, and it's not a pre-made cosplay, it's just something you find at a thrift store, great. It doesn't go towards the 75% because it's store-bought. It's something that was already made. You can wear it, but don't expect it to be added as an additional like bonus points. I mean, the kimono that I'm wearing right now for Ira is a bathrobe. It's a brown silken bathrobe that I modified, and I expected when I was going into the competition that I was going to tell that to the judges, and they were going to revoke points for that, which is completely fine because it's a pre-made thing. But if I know that I made it from brown silk, then that would be added to the points. But I really don't think people are going to ask you to make your own scrunchies or to make your own, I don't know, bandages from scratch or things that you can really, I think it's the big things that count.
You can also go that far. The fabric that I use, do I have to make it myself? And that's
do I have to make my own fabric?
Yeah.
Do I have to make my own wig?
Yeah, you have to grow your hair very different, like wavy and stuff. That's just grow your hair different, buddy. Let's do this. I think if you buy stuff from store, like the pants I had for Riptide, I bought, but I dyed them and I made like additions to be the Seeker leggings and stuff.
Yeah.
That still does count towards it. Like modify the stuff. Don't just buy it and wear it.
Yeah.
But like
I love
the details of a character on it. And then you're all good. Huh? And I don't think they're actually revoking points really. Like, of course, if I call there and be like, I made all of this myself, and then the person behind me is like, yeah, I bought the shoes and the pants and the shirt, and I put a part of glitter on it. I mean,
it's gonna be different,
yeah. It's gonna be different, but I don't think it's the key part, because like there's also the performance, right, and the detail of the character. Like there's a lot of things going into this. So.
So when I did Auckland, I made a lot of my costume, the bow and so forth, but I didn't make, because this was before any rules, like I didn't make my leggings or my singlet that was underneath. But I had my own hair and so forth. And then I was up against a Briar, and her costume was stunning. And also, you know, we came third equal. Where I got my points was my performance as Azalea, and she was a little bit nervous, so her performance wasn't good. I felt like her costume was miles better than my costume, and she should have got third by herself. But because my performance brought me up, we were third equal. So, you know, and we had an amazing Arachne for first and the Genus as second. So, you know, and they both had very good performances. So performance can bring you up. And it's so, but we all want to focus on the build, because the build is, if you don't recognize what it is, then it's going to be really hard.
And I mean, also it's the part where you spend by far the most money and the most time in. So like I personally, I want to do as much myself as I can do. So like of course I use shoes, but I cover them to fit and stuff. And like I made gloves for Riptide. I do not recommend that. That was awful. They also medium. Like, don't try to make gloves. Just buy them in the fitting color. Nobody is gonna shame you for that. Don't make your life harder than it is.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you guys want to talk about preparing for going to these events that we haven't covered?
I mean, there's one thing that I would like to say, because we have a very great community of cosplayers. So like preparing going for an event also means preparing a cosplay, working on stuff, working on things that you have never done before. So you can maybe just add the Discord later or put it into the thing, but we have a very good Discord where you can ask, how do I do this? And then people will respond, that's how you do it. There's a tutorial. Like, I regularly ask, does this fabric match what I want to do? Or just show them like my process. So
yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
The cosplay community is very helpful. And also very excited to see your progress.
Yeah.
Even if you don't feel like you did much, they are gonna be hyped to see what you're doing.
Definitely.
One thing that I wanted to mention was going to. This is something that I hear not necessarily from Flesh and Blood cosplayers, but from cosplayers in general when they're going to like big TCG events, is choosing between going as a player and as a cosplayer. And the answer is you don't have to.
Yeah.
You really don't have to. Depends on how limiting your cosplay is and depends on what you are cosplaying as. You don't have to choose between the two of them. Because, oh Lord, I know where this is going. Please.
Besides, if you also want to judge the game, because you cannot cosplay and judge at the same time.
I know where this is going. Unless you're in a 7-foot tall mech and physically can't sit at the table, I see no reason as to not play while you're in cosplay or cosplay while you're playing, whichever side works for you. So again, coming back to if something in your cosplay is bothering you and you have the option to take it off and put it back on fast and swift, take it off and put it back on. I used to do games with my Mask of Momentum, without my Mask of Momentum, because sometimes I just couldn't see. Sometimes it was bothering me. Sometimes I just felt so in character that I wanted to wear it. Sometimes it was no problem at all. But if you're wearing a cosplay that is comfortable, easy to sit in, that you can wear for long periods of time, and if you want to be at an event for the gaming experience, and the cosplay experience is a bonus to that experience, feel free to. On a note to that, if you just want to cosplay and don't want to play, is also valid. It's pretty darn valid. There's lots of vendors at the events. There's a food court. There's probably people who also aren't playing, who are trading, who are buying, selling, maybe just having a drink somewhere inside the venue, or just looking at the live stream somewhere on their phone, or just looking at other games. That's also fine, because going to big events as a cosplayer is a very specific experience, which not many people have. But it doesn't mean that you have to do either or, and it doesn't mean that you have to play at a big event just because you're at a big event. If you want to cosplay, if you want to be there for that experience alone.
That is why Pro to Lil was my favorite event ever, because I got to judge on Friday and Sunday, and I got to play and cosplay on Saturday. It was so amazing. I got to do all the things I love.
My very first cosplay was Azalea, and there is footage from a news story with me sitting in cosplay playing, and that's the reason why I chose to do that costume, so I could play. I had my quiver sitting over my back, and it fitted over the back of the chair with my bow, and it looked cool. And it's I like to make cosplays I can play in.
My favorite part of the Calling Krakow was playing my first game against a guy from, I think he was from Spain or from, I don't know. It was somewhere in Europe. And I was playing, I think it was Blitz something. I don't remember what exactly, but I was playing Ira as Ira, which is my favorite thing to do.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
And I'm not sure if I beat the guy or I didn't, but his friend texted him and was like, where are you? Who did you play against? And he was like, I played against Ira, but I don't think you understand.
I don't think you understand. I'm actually playing against Ira.
Playing Ira. So
I know for Benji, I could very easily play as Benji because there's not much more than this, right?
Yeah.
This side was a bit more difficult because I had this giant log with fish hanging from it. I just didn't take it to the table when I was playing. I was luckily able to store it with some judge friends in the staff room, which I hopefully something is available at Worlds, because I have to store quite a few stuff to be able to play, because space, I can't just leave the stuff behind me because people are gonna follow it or maybe break the things. So if I want, like, people want to take pictures, I'm like, hold on 1 minute, I get my stuff and then we can take pictures.
Yeah.
But you don't have to take all your stuff if you want to play. Like the big things, you can also just only take out for the contest and otherwise be comfortable in your cosplay.
Yeah. So we have. I've just got to do that. So we have a few things coming up. So
Wait.
all different events. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're calling Melbourne. So we've currently got a few things happening this weekend, but there isn't seeming to be any actual cosplay events at these. But I'm sure there'll be somebody hopefully just ripping us hard and doing the cosplay at those events. We'll see. Where was I?
Send pictures.
Send pictures, please. If there's people cosplaying, send pictures. Hashtag fab cosplay, please. So the next big event that is going to have cosplay is actually Melbourne, which I'll be attending. I'm very much looking forward to that. I am going to be going with my good friend Ian Kenderdine, and he is also going to be cosplaying. So Ian has Right Time Gaming. Where do I find it? You can find the information. So there's still time for people to enter. So you go into the ticketing. And it has all the information here.
Important.
I'll just accept. Cookies don't matter to me.
What do you mean you don't want to eat cookies?
Why wouldn't you want cookies? So here it
there
is.
We go.
So we have a cosplay competition happening in Melbourne, and I'm very excited to say that I will be competing. They haven't contacted me for any other reason, so I'll be competing. And I haven't decided whether I'm taking Taylor to compete or whether I'll take the new one. But I'll be taking both costumes. So I haven't done my entry yet, but I will be entering. And there is so many cool side events that possibly, that most people would be quite interested in. And I am going to be playing in the calling, giving my Lexi its last hurrah. I would have loved to have taken Lexi over, but without taking the bow,
Yeah.
Just doesn't feel right to not have played.
Yeah, something's missing, right?
And then our next big thing, which is a thing we're all working towards, Worlds. So more and more stuff, hype. So there's more and more stuff coming up about Worlds. Not sure if they've actually got the cosplay on the main page. I don't think
it's published yet.
I think they announced it, but they didn't actually put you can't enter yet. I think
can't enter yet, but yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
Is it announced though?
They did announce it. I also cannot imagine Worlds without a cosplay contest.
No, never can I. I mean, and
there has to be one.
There has to be one. I'm just searching. Look, special guests. So our very own Rachel will be a special guest by the looks of it. If they've featured her artwork, it makes me think she's a special guest.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn to play event details. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see together. Ooh. No, it's the same as what we saw before. So it's not there yet, but it's I believe it's going to happen.
It's gonna
It has to happen.
It's got to happen.
There's already 10 cosplayers I know that want to take part in the contest. So
yeah, exactly.
it has to happen.
So yeah, it's so exciting. So Worlds, that's everybody hyped. There's and then after Worlds we have an event happening in New Zealand. Don't know if there'll be a cosplay competition.
There probably will also be a cosplay competition. The way it's advertised as like we're celebrating all of our communities, there will be a cosplay contest.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be missing the boat if they don't. But yeah, yes. So I will be attending this event. I know it's going to be a hard sell for a lot of people. Yeah. I've had some communications with certain people saying how expensive it would be for them to get from that part to this part. And yeah, I can't believe it because that's the reason why I haven't managed to get to Europe or America or all that kind of stuff.
Someday we will meet in person.
One day.
Yep.
One day. So yeah, these are the next big things that are coming up. We're all looking forward to Worlds, and at Worlds they'll be announcing the special guests that they will have at the call in Queenstown. So they're going to have specially invited people that have influenced the Flesh and Blood to help celebrate. So I'm thinking that hopefully there'll be some cosplayers, hopefully there'll be some content creators that we all know and love. The hype's real. Like Queenstown is going to be more expensive for me to stay in than Melbourne, but which seems ridiculous. So it's people are gonna need to get themselves in really quick to be able to get places here. I'm hoping that please invite me, Alice. Please invite me. So
yes, please invite her.
I've already booked the time off.
Is it time to spam the emails yet?
I'm so hyped for that event and so sad I can't go.
I will try and take photos up to your standard, Eser.
Yeah, I want all the pictures. I want all the pictures. I mean, I will be watching online anyways, but
yeah,
I want all the pictures.
Yeah. So do we want to look at Art That Shouts cosplay?
Yes.
Yep. So
yes, perfect.
Have our what we are looking for. So what card are we looking for? Eser, what artwork did you decide that you think that just needs to be cosplayed?
I know I cannot cosplay it because I would not be comfortable in it, but the courage token. That card looks so amazing, and if you can pull it off, do it. I want to see it.
Oh, I can't spell courage.
The cosplay takes courage, but you're winning. It looks so amazing, the artwork. I wish I could do it. I wish I could pull it off.
Well, let's see. Nope. No,
I don't know.
All the courage ones. It must be here somewhere.
Yeah, the token. Yeah.
That one?
There we go. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sadly not the full art. Wait. I mean, you're only missing the feet.
But yeah, it's an amazing. It's an amazing piece of art.
Especially like in the summer, it would be a very good cosplay because you're kind of not wearing too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it looks so nice, and it kind of it's the stature and the way that the art's done, like with the it just makes it look so predominant and so.
I mean, he definitely looks like
makes courage.
He definitely looks like he knows who he is and he knows what he wants and he will take it. I think I think I need to go to the gym. Or like you can look, you can paint the six pack on. Let's go.
Oh, but I'm looking at another thing and I do not like it. Look at the wig.
I mean, it's kind of like the Benji wig. It's already messy. It's very messy. Yep.
Yeah, but it's so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wig.
It's so
Yeah.
long.
You just need to grow your hair out.
You just need to grow your hair out. Exactly.
Yeah, and then just make it into dreads.
Make it, yeah, or just not wash it for a little while. That should work also.
If you're going into the gym to have this body type, you can also just grow your hair out because it's going to take you about the same time to get both of it. So you know.
So
long in planning.
World's 2025.
Yeah, maybe. I will be the smallest courage you will ever see.
Okay, so Valera, do you have a we'll go back to the search
I
engine.
actually have 4 cards because they're the Evo breaker cards.
Evo.
Yeah, so bright lights is something that I hate and love with passion. So
Evo
yeah,
breaker.
the circuit breaker, the atom breaker, the phase breaker, and the Mac breaker, I do believe they can be combined into something amazing. So they were just up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So second row, look at the right. Most right.
Circuit breaker. There
yeah. So circuit breaker, atom breaker, and the legs part and everything.
So look at each of them individually because I can go back.
It's so much stuff. You need like a whole car only for your cosplay.
Yes, basically. Yeah, and I really like them because I think that it's something that I think that these 4 cards will be a group cosplay at one point. I feel like they might be.
Yeah.
So that's
because they're just amazing.
They I have to say they do look uncomfortable to play in.
Yeah. No sitting down, no walking, maybe a little bit of walking, but that's basically.
It's like, Judge, can we have the tables at the food stall where we can stand to play? Because I have to stand.
Maybe someone can just carry me onto stage.
Yeah, that one's going to be very hard to move on that one.
Like, I don't think I could ever cosplay this because I just don't see myself as cosplaying this, even though it looks amazing. But someone, wink, wink, Rachel, hint, hint, please do this. If you don't already have something new up your sleeve.
She probably already has it in planning.
This one might be more doable, the face breaker.
You think? Yeah,
but
no.
It would look out of place without having the rest done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at like the fingers and the fingertips and it being like, no. This is way out of my league.
You'd want to make it larger than life, right?
You can also add, like, that's where all the like the light stuff in cosplay really would come to shine. Like make the fingertips glow, make for the other one, make the chest piece
sparks.
Yes. Make fake sparks.
Yeah.
Because these are ice skates. They are ice skates.
How are you going to walk on them?
You won't. That's the point.
How do you make it look like you're wearing those? Like, do you have like a
no, you go all out.
Chunk.
Go home.
If you ever have been ice skating, you can walk on ice skates outside of the ice skating, but it's very awkward.
Yeah. Or you can just make LSS bring you an ice ring.
Yeah, if you call them early enough.
If you call them early enough. So World 2025. But yeah,
I have an idea for that actually, but
do you?
I'm not that I'm making it. Like, sink it in resin, so it's clear on the sides, and you've got something to walk on.
It feels like it's gonna be very heavy at some point.
And very breakable. But one thing that I don't think anybody cosplayed so far, but I think is just a stunning card with so many details and so cosplayable. It's very old, and it is one of my. It's my next cosplay project. Is Wreck Havoc.
Wreak Havoc.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's spelled wreck, like with
I
a C.
spelled it wrong. Yeah, I can't spell.
It's okay. So CK. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that on a playmat.
Yeah.
So that
Because that
is
was the playmat for Auckland. Yeah.
That's my next cost plan, and I will make that flamethrower be the last thing I do.
I don't think you're allowed to bring open flames.
I'll figure. So basically, my idea was smoke and LED lights.
Yeah.
You know, you can also like make resin and then put lightning inside so it looks like fire. You know?
you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my first idea was to actually make the flamethrower, but to never ever actually turn it on. And then if I would be competing, to actually reveal that it's not a flamethrower, it's a confetti cannon.
Oh my God, the
That would
poor
be so
cleaning,
good.
the poor people who clean it. That
No,
would be amazing.
I'd bring a broom. That's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Would it have a reverse so you can just pull it all back?
No,
No?
we're wrecking havoc. We're not being nice and tidy. We're wrecking havoc.
Just imagine the face of not only like all the people watching, but like the face of the judges and the tournament organizers who is like, oh no.
So yeah, I spilled my beans. This is happening at least until Worlds 2025.
There's nothing wrong with an ongoing project. I mean, I'm constantly redoing some of mine, so
Yeah.
consider them ongoing. Now I've got to think of something myself.
I mean, I also have another one if you're
Oh,
still
you do?
interested.
Yeah. Well,
It's also
okay,
one that
go.
I will never do, but I think like this card, the card is not great, but the artwork is just stunning. It's Rise Above.
Oh, Rise Above.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like-
yes.
like- It's actually, it looks like a very complicated cosplay. So like not beginner friendly, but it looks so good. It's gonna be a cosplay that nobody knows what you're cosplaying as if you do it.
You're an assassin.
Yeah, nobody knows.
But I think somebody.
Did somebody do it?
There has
I'm
been
not
some
sure.
assassins, but no, that's not the right one.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's the right one.
that's the
Oh,
one I mean.
that's
Yeah.
the one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It looks so good. But
How in. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody do it.
That is really cool.
The person is barefoot.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe a cloak.
Maybe I do it as a gender swap.
Please do.
Yeah.
I already have like 4 cosplays in the planning where I all have like parts of materials already there. It's like one week I want to do this, the next week maybe this one. At least for Worlds now I'm committed.
Yeah. You've got what you've got. Yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
look gorgeous from the little sneak peeks that we've been getting.
It's going to be amazing.
It's gonna
I
be
hope
amazing.
so.
So
You want to see your card? Show us.
yeah. Okay, so I am. There's one here that I really like though. Maximum velocity.
Maximum Velocity is an amazing card.
Yeah, look at that. But I mean, it'll be a bit large.
Does it have a rocket on its back?
It looks like a rocket. Yeah, one I think would be really cool to do. Whether you can get like that through the door, maybe have it collapsible. I'm not sure, but it's got basic bones to it. So I mean, I think that would be quite a good beginner one.
It also looks very durable. Like it It's not a project where you think, I don't know how I will ever finish it. It looks like, yeah, I need the pants, I need the shirt, and I need the thing on the back.
Yeah, I think it's one that I think would be.
Yeah.
It's impactful. People would know what it was, but it's a good beginner cosplay.
Yeah.
So we've talked about upcoming events. We've talked about art show. What are we looking forward to in Fab?
The next set.
The next set,
which may or may not bring us more brute support.
it looks like it might do.
And may or may not bring us more warrior support, because that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for Kasai.
Probably
Kasai support.
Yeah.
Kasai would be cool. Yeah, everyone kind of wants an adult Kasai, which is kind of cool. I'm looking forward to going to my event in Melbourne, and it's actually going to be my first trip since COVID, and my second trip outside of New Zealand. So I'm hoping the crew's going to look after me. But I mean, I'm traveling with Ian. He's traveled to all the different places. I'm sure I'll be perfectly safe. What are you looking forward to, Eser?
I mean, obviously the Worlds next month. But like in broader terms, I'm really looking forward to the player versus evil. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
They keep whispering about it, and I think with this whole Colosseum thing, it kind of whispers towards it as well. You know, that could be.
I think they said not this year, maybe next year. But maybe I'm just, and I'm also, very excited about more UPF support. Like
awesome.
The best matches of Flesh and Blood were UPF games. So I'm looking forward to the. I'm looking forward to the not competitive formats.
Yeah.
I'm also not a competitive player. I just like to do some crazy shit, and I don't care if I lose or win.
If you just pull off the combo, then it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if I can just do very surprising stuff, and people be like, "Why did you do this?" I'm just like, "Because I wanted to. You can't stop me." And, especially in like UPF, like with the politics of the table, it's like I'm excited that the format is getting more recognition with the round the table. So I hope there will be more in the future.
Perfect. So we'll leave this off here. Thank you both for being on. I wanted to feature Europe, seeing as that's where we're all going to be focusing in the next month. We're going to be fully looking towards Worlds, looking towards Barcelona. So thank you both. Is there any socials that you wish to share?
You first.
I am Ira of Mysteria on Twitter, and on Instagram you can find me by the same handle. And yeah, that would be all basically.
Yeah.
So ira.of.mysteria.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm only active on Twitter. I have an Instagram which I don't use, but on Twitter you can see a lot of my progress. Like I overshare my cosplay because I don't care if people know what I do or not. And it's Eser cosplay. Very simple.
Cosplay. Yeah. And I'm Fabled Hero everywhere. But please get out there and support cosplayers. We have a cosplay Facebook page where we try to share as much as we can up there, ask people questions. And we have a Discord for anyone who is looking at being part of the cosplay community. You're welcome to ask for an invite, and one of our lovely cosplayers will gladly share our secret and let you in, because we want to have as many people working together, learning together, and having fun together at these events. Thank you, everybody, and I hope everyone has a great time at Worlds and at their different events. And
thank you for having us.
Good night and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.